the way I've kind of framed this up is it's a bit of a narrative from a couple different directions. I'm a marketing guy, I'm a storyteller. So I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about kind of how we got here at SAP for the platform as a service, kind of what it means to us, how we approach it, how we have grown to adopt and really greatly benefit from open source technologies, and then our relationship with SUSE and the SUSE community. And it's in very nascent stages. Right now, we've collaborated around HANA. You guys know what HANA is? Yeah. Exactly. So we've worked with SUSE and had a lot of great intersection points over the years with HANA. And this is the first time that we've talked about HANA Cloud Platform to the SUSE audience. So by way of just a little bit of how we can flow, we can keep it a little loose if we want to skip over some things, if we want to dig in a little deeper to some others. But generally speaking, what I'd like to do is kind of walk a little bit through how we got here and then end up with where we are and where we're going. The name of this slide is probably a little smart alecky because it's probably never the good old days, but it's just sort of the old days. And what it was and what we're referring to here is that you were a company. You had enterprise software solutions, you ran it on-premise, it was something that you bought out of a box, and maybe there was some customization that you used an integrator to help do to personalize your business. There were point solutions, and there was an ERP system kind of in a backbone sort of format. We'd say that these customizations were relatively simple. But that's relative, of course, to kind of modern day. So things got more complicated with the cloud. Not exactly what the intent of the cloud was, but kind of where we are. So point solutions evolved, the deployment model changed. We had more options, which is always a good thing. Now we have lines of business being able to make decisions usually without the same level of IT involvement, and this has kind of made things a little bit more complicated. You can kind of imagine that there's now users that need to get managed, there's access that needs to get managed, there's integration with other systems, perhaps there are duplicative systems. But what we see are lines of business making decisions to that are very relevant to them, that are very customizable to them, very specific to them. Now, what this has done it's created a little bit messier of a landscape. So, technologies have evolved to help address some of these situations. So we've got API management and very specific solutions, cloud solutions that help with API management, for example. We have integration scenarios, integration software that helps kind of bring all of these things together. All of these point solutions, all of these things that once used to be housed and live in kind of a confined, easy to manage environment that, relatively speaking, didn't quite have the complexity of multiple deployment models and perhaps kind of shadow IT. So this is a little bit of a summary of our thesis at SAP relative to HANA Cloud Platform. So you have these line of business applications, HCM, business network, your CRM applications. And rather than having a host of cloud applications that then service them and maintain them and run them and control user access, what we propose is to have a single platform that does all of those things together. So you don't have this, exponential increase in cloud services that you need to maintain the cloud services that you bought before in order to talk to the on-premises systems that you invested in however long ago. This view for us is one that makes sense from a couple different perspectives, but one being that companies are not going to be completely on-prem. Companies are not going to be completely in the cloud. We see this hybrid model existing for a very long time. And as the definition of what is platform as a service expands or changes or evolves, what we see is the services around serving other cloud applications and connecting them back to the enterprise and back to, say, the core systems or the legacy systems is a really, really important part of modern business and modern management of these applications. So this is the opening for the story, kind of setting the stage from a little bit of an IT-centric perspective. So what I'd like to do is then tell a little bit of the same story, but from a slightly different perspective. So let's imagine that we are lines of business leaders, and we have business problems that we need to solve. This is how I like to talk about what HANA Cloud Platform does. It doesn't talk about architecture. It doesn't talk about necessarily cloud applications. It doesn't talk about point solutions. What it's about is it's about solving a real business problem that, say, a business leader has. I don't know. How can I do a better job of responding to customer service inquiries? How can I do a better job of managing my workforce and their evolving needs? How can I meet the challenges that I have in my business, not 12 months from now and millions of dollars later, but how can I do it this quarter? And to a certain extent, that is the promise that cloud made all this time ago. And in some ways it delivers, in some ways it confuses things, but that potential is still there and getting better all the time. And we view Cloud Platform as being a key enabler of all of these things. So just to maybe wrap up each of those little narratives, what you can do with HANA Cloud Platform is you can create lightweight applications that can do these tiny little things, whether it's adding a new feature to a cloud app that you currently have, that you currently use, whether it's building something that's completely new, or putting something that is an existing business process on a mobile device. So your managers can easily approve, say, purchases or expenses. Now, these are all really basic things that it's surprising that it doesn't exist, that the consumer world that we're accustomed to doesn't always line up with the enterprise world. And that's what we propose HANA Cloud Platform enables you to do. Now, how exactly do we do it? Let me unpack this slide a little bit. You guys have heard of two-speed IT. You guys have heard of, the agile layer, the solid core, the system of record. Does this sound familiar? So this is my attempt to visually show the interplay of both of those things. Over here, you have your core applications, and they don't have to be SAP applications, but I like SAP applications, so we're gonna just run with that one. So you've got Business Suite. You've got S/4HANA maybe. You have maybe Concur. You perhaps run SuccessFactors or some other cloud or non-cloud HCM software, CRM software, et cetera. Now, messing with these core systems of record is challenging, not because it's so much technically difficult. Those skills are out there. You guys know how to do this. Those skills exist. Messing with systems of record is dangerous because they are systems of record, and you don't want to get in and monkey around with financial data. You don't want to get in and monkey around with HR data that breaks and is really, really testy. So HANA Cloud Platform proposes that you don't have to go into your systems of record. You don't have to commit to making major changes or launching applications that are going to require significant deep integration into your existing systems of record. What you can do is develop a lightweight application. For example, that lightweight application that will allow your manager to approve your expense report from his mobile device. That's the kind of thing that we're talking about. These are lightweight applications, and these are applications that can be easily built. These are applications that require no special skill set. These are skills that exist in your organization already, like Java. We're not asking you to learn new languages. We're not asking your organization to learn a lot of new tricks. But the net result here is that you have a system of record that doesn't need to get messed with and is left alone, but you have data that is easily accessed and business processes and rules that are easily accessed and referenced from lightweight applications. This is how we think of HANA Cloud Platform in terms of its overall interaction with your business landscape. Now, this slide might be a little much to take in, but it's a very SAP-centric view of, say, our strategy as a company and how we view how HANA Cloud Platform fits into, say, the rest of the landscape. Now, you can substitute a number of these products. I, of course, used SAP products, but feel free to plug in any cloud app that you would like at the top. It, of course, can be Salesforce. It, of course, can be Workday, anything like that. But the point is, cloud applications up at the top. You have systems of record down at the bottom. So ERP solutions. You have your analytics. And in many cases, hopefully folks in this room also have HANA. Maybe you have data lakes or any kind of other databases that exist out there. If you're familiar at all with how we position and how we talk about the value of HANA, we really like to say that it's a single reference point, a single database for all of your data. But we do understand that there's lots and lots and lots of other things that are out in a very complex landscape. So we view HANA Cloud Platform as sitting in the middle a little bit. It allows access to data, whether it's HANA, whether it's in Hadoop, whether it's in Redis, whether it's in Oracle. It allows access to your ERP. These are your systems of record that you don't want to mess with. But your business is not like everybody else's business, and just like it did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it requires a little bit of personalization, a little bit of customization. You have analytics. Your bosses, your executives, they all really like to look at pretty interactive graphics that hopefully can be done in real time and reflect the current state of the business so they can make better decisions now. And then there's this world of cloud applications. So HANA Cloud Platform exists largely for the reason to power all the rest of these through services and allows you to extend your existing applications, create new features, implement new features easily, or design, build, and launch completely new applications to either solve, say, an internal issue or an internal opportunity, or if in the case of, say, a partner such as an ISV, you create an entirely new application and then sell it to the market. You can do that on HANA Cloud Platform. You can do it leveraging data that exists wherever it is. You can do that using analytics and visualization tools, whatever those might be, and it all connects together with cloud applications SAP and non-SAP. So the way that we like to frame it, in a bit of a functional way, and it being HANA Cloud Platform, is that it does three things. Integration is really key. It integrates all of these different applications or data sources or business processes. And what you can do with that is you can extend those business processes, those applications, do new things with them, create new functionalities, new tools, new ways of looking at data, new ways of looking at your business, new ways of looking at your line of business applications, or you can build completely new applications. A bit of a double click on each one of these. We have the opportunity here to tell a story about not only personalization and taking software that comes off the shelf that you perhaps used to pay integrators to integrate, to personalize those applications. You can now, a company can do those themselves with a small group of people using skills they already have, because this is demystified and made more accessible with open standards and open development techniques that most organizations have or have easy access to. But also, it's modernizing existing applications. One of the key, shall we say, value propositions of an enterprise platform as a service, such like HANA Cloud Platform, is that we're not suggesting you throw away old applications. We're not suggesting at all that you move forward and move away from the investments that you've already made. Chances are those are still probably good applications that have a lot of dependencies on, in other areas of the business. So what HANA Cloud Platform gives you the opportunity to do is to create those new features that would perhaps modernize that application. Maybe just to use that same example again of taking a simple business process like approving a computer purchase for an employee from a manager's cell phone when they're at an airport, rather than being stuck at the office when they're logged into the VPN in order to do it. Something as simple as that actually has remarkable impacts on how business gets done, but most importantly, it aligns very closely with how business should get done. That's what I would expect. Those are the kinds of behaviors that I want to do when I'm trying to get work done. The integration piece, I think, probably to all of you guys is pretty obvious. You've got to connect data. You've got to connect business processes. You've got to put information in the hands of the people that need it. And you've got to do it across a very complicated landscape. I could tell you the story that SAP knows SAP products, that we write integration that is very closely tied to our products, and all of that is true. But it's not just limited to our products. We talk to any database, we talk to any cloud application, and we do it spectacularly well. And in a lot of ways, integration is one of the backbones of how you manage this hybrid, complicated IT landscape that we all live in, and has the potential of getting more complicated every day if a holistic and strategic approach isn't taken to manage that complexity. Going back to that fourth slide that I showed you about, all of the apps that exist out there, and that a proper enterprise platform as a service can do nearly everything that you would need to manage those apps and manage those relationships between users, between cloud, between on-premise deployments. And then building entirely new applications. We don't necessarily position HANA Cloud Platform as being where the next Uber is going to come from. I don't necessarily think that kids in a garage are going to be using HANA Cloud Platform to, create the, next innovation that is going to be born from, humble origins. We designed HANA Cloud Platform to be for enterprise developers, by enterprise developers. And that's the lens that we look at. So if you are a company that is creating an internal application, this is a great option. If you are an ISV that is looking to create a new app to then sell to your community, your business, this is a great option because of that deep enterprise connection and integration capabilities that SAP offers. So here's a little bit of an overview of kind of the broad categories of how we think about these services. We all work to a certain extent in enterprise software. We all know enterprise software is complicated, and this is no different. HANA Cloud Platform has evolved into a really big suite of capabilities and services that do a lot of different things and do some of these things in ways that we can broadly kind of categorize them. So collaboration. This is, if you're familiar with a product called SAP Jam, there are ways that you can integrate these into your applications, or you can run the application on your own. We have user experience services such like SAP Fiori. You can build Fiori apps. You can use Fiori design principles. There is even a service that helps an engineering team with no design experience whatsoever walk them through the process of understanding design-centric behavior. And it's kind of like a tutorial. You can use templates that are pre-existing, or you can use the tool as a bit of an educational primer on developing your own user interface. Analytics, very key. Data and storage, HANA, ASE. I'll go into other options that we have now with our new open source technologies that we've adopted. Kind of spoken to this already, but what I'd like to do is maybe fast forward a little bit to talk a little bit more about Cloud Foundry and OpenStack, and this is really where the intersection with HANA Cloud Platform and the open source world is. But when we think about what the value propositions are for business use cases, we think along the terms of user experience, we think along the terms of Internet of Things, we think along the lines of collaboration and integration. We think that what HANA Cloud Platform offers is a level of enterprise-grade services that are required, just pure table stakes in order to play in this world. We believe it to be easy, and I know that enterprise software has made this claim since long before I was on this planet. However, that's the goal, and that's what we're striving for here, is to make it incrementally easier every single time. And that's one of the things that we are really proud of at SAP, and one of the things that we believe HANA Cloud Platform allows. And then it's getting those results fast. It's not that we buy packaged software, it then takes 18 months to integrate and $5 million later. These are rapid innovation cycles. This is, can we get this built and implemented this quarter so we can get results? That's the kind of world that we live in, and those are the kinds of expectations that we should have. And a platform like this enables that kind of reality. Maybe a little bit of social proof where we are right now. A little over 5,200 customers at the moment. We have well over 500 partners building apps, mostly ISVs, mostly guys that you've heard of, the Accentures, Deloittes of the world, but many, many smaller shops all over the world that have made bets on their business, have bet their business on HANA Cloud Platform. We are, of course, hugely flattered by that. But these are folks that are trying to sell serious business software into serious businesses. And that is exactly what we offer with HANA Cloud Platform. One thing that I haven't mentioned just yet is that we have built a bit of a marketplace for those apps, where you can discover, you can evaluate some of the applications that these ISVs have built. And right now, we're just over 1,000 applications, and we're really proud of that. And this is a part of the business that we think is going to be extremely important in terms of our industry recognizing and realizing the vision of what a platform as a service in the enterprise can provide. That simplicity, that ease, those quick applications, those meaningful and rapid time to value kinds of realities in a line of business. And that's the kind of stuff that gets us really excited. Okay, so let's talk open. You might recognize these guys. Again, I'm a storyteller, so let's ask some questions about a platform as a service that might be important. A line of business person, even if, and probably especially if, that line of business is IT, they've got questions that they need to have answered before adopting a cloud technology, especially a PaaS. It's not a small decision. There are a couple places that you can go, but you need to be very deliberate and understand why you're making the decisions that you're making. Am I going to get locked into a vendor? Am I going to have the flexibility as my business changes? These are really, really key questions that your PaaS should be able to answer, and unequivocally the answer to all of these should be yes. Now, one of the ways that we have really, really been able to improve HANA Cloud Platform, both from a technology perspective and from a story perspective, is through Cloud Foundry. Familiar with Cloud Foundry? Yep, heard of it? Yeah, okay. So I won't go into a detailed explanation of what they are, but it's an open source PaaS that is very much focused on business. A number of companies are involved. We are a platinum level sponsor, which means we have dedicated a lot of resources to contributing to the code line and to help shape the features and in some ways the direction that it goes. We work with, of course, Hewlett-Packard, and Pivotal's involved, IBM, really big. Google just recently, just the other month, actually at the Cloud Foundry Summit in Germany, announced that they are adopting, and as a part of Google Cloud Platform, the Cloud Foundry technology as well. So we have serious people doing serious things with Cloud Foundry. So what does Cloud Foundry allow folks to do? Well, the simple way to say it is there's potential to be captured that can be somewhat equated to what open source meant to servers. If you buy the analogy that cloud is kind of the new server, then there is bound to, and it just makes sense, that open source is going to play a big part in that world as it evolves. And these are still early days, but Cloud Foundry is making a serious stake, or making a serious claim to being that technology. At its core, Cloud Foundry does a number of things. It opens up the number of languages that folks can use. For example, pardon me, in the early days of HANA Cloud Platform, it was really just Java and JavaScript that you could use. Now, with Cloud Foundry, we have the ability to use many more, Node, PHP, just to name a couple. The opportunity to use many different data sources, so Mongo, Rabbit. Those are increases the availability and also increases the value of the things that you can do and the types of apps that you can create or the types of data sources that you can use. And then it also allows for different scenarios regarding or rather matching with your company's cloud strategy. If you prefer private cloud to public, these are now options that are available through Cloud Foundry that, quite frankly, didn't exist with HANA Cloud Platform before. So you'll recognize this slide. Perhaps it doesn't come through very well, but the idea is to say that now all of these services that we developed are powered by open source technologies, specifically Cloud Foundry and OpenStack. That's a little bit roadmap of a claim. We have earlier this year released a version of HANA Cloud Platform on Cloud Foundry as a beta as we integrate it into our core product. The idea is to add those services and capabilities and languages and runtimes that are available to HANA Cloud Platform through Cloud Foundry and OpenStack. And that's where the collaboration with the open source community has really improved and grown a lot. It's gone from, or we have gone from a company that was one of proprietary languages. We were one of selling packaged applications to now offering platforms that people can develop on using open standards. And we're increasing the ability to do so with our adoption of these two pieces of technology. And we're really proud of this. And for those of you who know a little bit about SAP, this is a major shift in not just, say, our strategy or how we approach the market, but in terms of how we think. And it's certainly one that's for the better. So what are some of the benefits that arise? Vendor lock-in becomes much less of an issue. Your application becomes portable from HANA Cloud Platform to another cloud platform. And those are the kinds of decisions that are going to free up folks from having to defend perhaps decisions that they made in the past. And if I could reach back into history a little bit, legacy software is called legacy for a reason. And our ability to maximize the benefits and make those legacy systems more flexible, it helps everybody. And that's whether you're a customer, that's whether you're a customer's customer, and that's even if you are a vendor like us. We want everybody to have that flexibility because this world is complicated and this world needs to be agile. And we as SAP are telling a story that you are an agile business and our software, our technology can help you do that. So the ability to move from platform to platform is extremely important to us. In addition to more capabilities, multi-cloud, which is a really big component of the cloud strategies, especially as companies are trying to figure out what's important to them and what their values are and what they're comfortable with. And of course, this is a word or a phrase that you've heard quite a bit from almost every enterprise vendor, including ourselves. But to us and to me, it really is more than just a popular buzzword. Easing digital transformation, or however you would like to talk about, changing from a state of inflexibility to a state of agility is really important. One of the things that businesses, when I sit in customer meetings and I talk to folks, one of the key pieces is I work in an industry, we have software that serves our needs, we have it customized to a certain extent, but it's not just that our business is unique or that we have specific business processes that are maybe different than our competitors. We are different than our competitors, and we are trying to differentiate ourselves from them. And that's what we mean when we say agility. Is it's not just the ability to customize software or add new features that are maybe a little bit of a better fit for your industry. It's about differentiating yourselves from your competitors, and the ability to do that, and the ability to do that quickly and through technology. That is the kind of stuff that we think is really, really exciting. And when we say digital transformation, that is what's behind it. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this slide in here because it's a lot to unpack, and maybe I should have created a build. But let's start from the bottom. Bit of a stack diagram. This is infrastructure layer at the bottom. You're familiar with digesting information in this sort of a format, I'm sure. You can see that OpenStack is where we're going, and SUSE OpenStack is a big part of our strategy here. What I wanted to show are the services that Cloud Foundry enables, and those are the ones in yellow. So right out of the gate, we have new runtime support. Right out of the gate, we have new database and data management services that we can now play in. And on top of all of those, support the platform services that we've talked about already. And then, of course, the business services, say commerce, say APIs, say application extensions, whether they're partner created or SAP created. This is kind of the world of HANA Cloud Platform and the world that we are getting into with Cloud Foundry and OpenStack and the adoption of these open source technologies. I've already mentioned a couple things about our relationship with the Cloud Foundry Foundation. We contribute. We've got a number of folks on our engineering teams that are contributors to the Cloud Foundry mainline. We just announced a dojo that we've established in Waldorf, the headquarters of SAP. In order to become a contributor to the Cloud Foundry code line and community, you need to go through this fairly rigorous training in order to get there. And what we've done is established a program and a school, essentially, to help folks get there and become trained and become certified Cloud Foundry contributors. The technology itself, of course, means a lot to us and provides us with a number of services, so our commitment to the technology is probably obvious. And the things that we actively contribute to in terms of being active in this open source community, again, are really important to us. The last one here, the Bosch CPI project, is one that we are extremely proud of, and is one, actually, of the intersection points with SUSE. So here's where we kind of tie it all together. The relationship that SAP and SUSE has and has had is very important and has been for a very long time. And what we are in the early stages of is building that relationship relative to HANA Cloud Platform. It exists in a lot of different areas, currently HANA for one, as we chatted about at the beginning. But here are a couple of just the touch points that we have in the active projects that we're currently engaged in with SUSE folks. The first is we helped get our SUSE colleagues through that pivotal Cloud Foundry dojo. It's very intense. It's a 6-week class, and we had a number of our guys sitting next to a number of the SUSE guys and helping them through the projects and helping create those folks that are going to be able to be in a position to contribute to the Cloud Foundry code base. And that's just kind of the beginning, because from there we can start collaborating on projects like the Bosch CPI. If you're not familiar with what exactly that means, that is essentially a tool or a piece of software that lets you connect to other infrastructures and enables that portability that is so important to the value propositions and the promises of our cloud platform of not being locked into a vendor. When you build an app, that app can run anywhere, and that's up to you, whether it's HANA Cloud Platform or not. You can leverage HANA Cloud Platform services, even if it's running on Azure, or you can port it completely to a platform completely differently. And the CPI project is a key enabler of that, and we're really proud to say that the SUSE folks are collaborating very closely with us as we develop that together. In a very much related project, SUSE's built is building a validator tool. So you run SUSE OpenStack, and you run a simple tool that will say whether or not your landscape is ready and fit for Cloud Foundry installation. Something very simple in concept, very complicated to do in practice, and one of the major connection points between SUSE and our HANA Cloud Platform team. And finally, we are involved in a really cool proof of concept with Siemens. So Siemens is kicking the tires on a private cloud instance of HANA Cloud Platform based on the SUSE OpenStack, and using the tools that we're working on together in order to make it happen. And we're really excited to see how HANA Cloud Platform is going to work and perform across a couple different dimensions, not the least of which being HANA Cloud Platform has never been in a private cloud environment before. So we're really excited to see how that works, and that's really cool to have the SUSE folks next to us as partners on that journey. Wrapping up, the points that I would like to have you guys take away here is the relationship with SUSE is important, it's nascent and growing rapidly. We're very excited about the intersections, and we're very excited about what we can do together, and our collaborations are going to do some really cool things, and we are very much at the beginning. My hope is that, well, my expectation is that this time next year, I am going to be telling you a much richer, bigger story about how we are GA with Cloud Foundry and HANA Cloud Platform, and all of the awesome stuff that we have created with the folks at SUSE and in the open source community have really contributed to making this product one that is of extremely high value to our customers and our customers' customers. So with that, I'd love if you guys have any questions, if you had any comments. This deck will be available, I'm sure, for access however the conference organizers want to do it. But we have a website. We have a section focused on developers. You can actually kick the tires on the beta if you'd like, and play with some of the services that we have for Cloud Foundry. Of course, community at SAP is really important, and we have a bunch of code samples in our Git. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.